Hello, my name is Israel Solomon. I am a visual artist located in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I painted the Odyssey, sort of. So, when I was in high school, maybe 10th or 11th grade, one of my best memories was in English class, we got to read the Odyssey. I didn't know anything about the Odyssey, I had never heard of it before, but I did like epic stories such as Star Wars and things like that. So this was right up my alley. And I can recall it taking us, I think, maybe 1 to 2 weeks to read it all in that class. And the way that we did it was when we would come into class, every student going down the rows and the aisles would read, I believe, about a paragraph. We would take turns reading it, and we would just keep on going until we were finished. And that was really a process that I enjoyed. I think that it helped us to stay keyed in and focused in on the story, and it really allowed my imagination to run wild. So I remember thinking about all of the different things that happened in the story, the Trojan horse, um, how great of a fighter Odysseus was, the Cyclops, all that stuff. But I remember one thing that always stuck out to me, and it may be minimal for others, I don't know, was I remember the description of Odysseus' bedroom and Penelope's bedroom. And I remember the book saying that they had a bed that was carved out of a tree. I don't recall the exact passage in the book, but I took that literally. So in my mind, I would see a tree in the ground inside of their bedroom, rooted and growing outward, and a roof that, or a ceiling that was open, and the tree sprouting and growing out of that roof. And the leaves of the tree were placed so perfect. This is in my imagination, that when it would rain or any type of weather that would possibly affect, the outside, the elements were not able to come in because the leaves were perfectly placed. This is all stuff that was made up in my head. I don't believe that any of that was in the story outside of there being a bed that was carved out of a tree. So you know, this is a memory and a thought that just continuously popped up in my mind ever since I read the Odyssey back in high school. And when I found out that they were creating an Odyssey movie, I told myself, oh, I want to paint something from that. I'm excited and I want to paint something. So I decided to paint Odysseus in Penelope's bedroom, and I decided to paint Penelope waiting for Odysseus, hoping that Odysseus is going to come home. And as I'm thinking about that concept of someone being gone to war, and you know, hundreds of years ago, when you're gone a long distance, there's no way to contact someone to know if they're even alive or not. All you can lean on is hope and faith that that person is still alive and is going to make it home to you. So I tried to think about, if I were Penelope, how would I feel? And I think that if I were Penelope, there would be times of extreme pain, but I would also have to keep an extremely hopeful mindset to continue moving forward and not losing hope that Odysseus is going to make it home. But I imagine it would have been extremely tough for Penelope and Odysseus, because, even Odysseus wouldn't know necessarily if Penelope were still alive and healthy and waiting for him. So when you're looking at the image, I painted Penelope green, and I try to use color as a part of the storytelling, not just the composition or the subject matter, but color as well. So utilizing green, I think that green can be perceived as a lot of different ways. You know, it's a natural color, it's an earthy color, but you know, it can also be somewhat sad or somewhat ill, you know, in regards to how it can be represented. So I think about that song, Kermit the Frog, It's Not Easy Being Green. And that was somewhat of a sad song. So I said, okay, well, maybe I'll paint Penelope green, you know. And another thing that I've heard before is the term green for describing an individual. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but I know that someone being described as green is not the greatest way to be described. It usually means inexperienced, maybe missing something, or maybe lacking something if you're green. So I decided to paint Penelope green because of those reasons. And I also think it works well with the composition. It's harmonious with the colors, seeing as how green and red are complementary colors, and the majority of this painting is greenish and reddish tones, I would say. So they balance each other out and they complement each other. It's not finished yet. There's still a lot of things that I'm working on. I'm working on this blanket, um, still and fully developing that. I'm working on the background some more, and I'm going to be working on the bed more and Penelope's hair. Really, there's a lot of different things in different spots that I'm still working on, but the changes won't be as impactful as if I were earlier in the process. When I'm later in the process of a painting, the detailing time, things are not quite as noticeable as they are when I'm just starting a painting, the changes. I also wanted this image to feel somewhat surreal and dreamlike. So, you know, as you can see, the open ceiling, and we have this open circular window, and the light that's shining in from that window, symbolizing hope. And the clouds that are on top of the sky are also peering and moving into the image to where they're overlapping the wall because I wanted it to feel dreamlike. Um, Over on the upper right hand corner, the leaves of the trees are also coming in. I'm going to develop those a little bit more. And if you look closely at the tree, you can see somewhat of a face there. You see three holes that could represent two eyes and a mouth. I wanted the tree to feel like it was a spirit and it was watching over Penelope as Odysseus is gone. Um, One more thing that I would like to add into the image that I don't know if I'm going to have time for is Odysseus and Penelope's dog, the hunting dog. I believe his name is Argos. I would like to add him into the painting, but I just don't know if time is going to allow me to do that because I plan to be showing this painting within the next week or so. So those are some of the elements and some of the inspirations for this particular piece. Um, I'm probably going to create some more artwork that is based in mythology and stories that I really enjoy. And you never know, I might be able to build up a body of work based on mythology and stories that are impactful to me, and you know, create a show out of it or an exhibition one day. I always try to keep my mind open to whatever ideas flood in, and be open to creating those things that I see, whether they're successful or not. So I hope that this painting is going to be successful. I hope that you enjoyed it. Um, how did you feel about the Odyssey movie? If you got an opportunity to see it, I hear mixed messages. A lot of people say that they think it's awesome, and then I hear people saying that it's meh. For me, I really enjoyed it, and the 3 hours zoomed by, so I liked it, and I'm just looking forward to sharing this painting when it's completed and getting reaction. And when it's all said and done, when this is finished up, I'm going to create a video on my show and all the work that I've been working on. So you'll be able to see this if you follow me or subscribe in the very near future when I have this whole show completed. So I thank you for listening to me. In the comments, tell me how you feel about the Odyssey movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And ask me any questions that you might have. I really appreciate it. Thank you and have a great day. Peace.